Namaste and welcome. In today's session, I will be discussing with you certain important and basic concepts pertaining to polynomials. In your previous classes, you might have learnt about polynomials, yet I thought it's worth recalling the basic concepts that will keep you in good stead in working out the questions based on your 10th standard curriculum. The first concept is, you all know any polynomial can be written as p of x is equal to an x to the power n plus an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1 plus an minus 2 x to the power n minus 2 plus dot 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 plus a1x plus a naught, where n be a positive integer and this an minus 1, an minus 2, etc., a1, a naught, they are all any constants, that is real numbers. You know about it. Anyway, let me make a note of these points where n be a positive integer, then a naught, a1, a2, etc. up to an be constants. I can write inside the bracket real numbers. Okay. Then you know that this an x power n, an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1, an minus 2 x to the power n minus 2, etc., a1x, a naught, they are all called the terms of the polynomial. Let me make a note of it. We know that because already you learnt all those things. An x power n, an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1, an minus 2 x to the power n minus 2, etc. Then a1x, a naught are all terms of the polynomial, terms of the given polynomial. Then, if you see an minus 1, an minus 2, a1, a naught, they are all their respective coefficients. So, an minus 1, an minus 2, then dot dot dot, a1, then a naught, or their respective, this word respective is very important, respective coefficients. And this word coefficients also very important because when we work out the questions based on this particular chapter, most of the questions you have to write the coefficients. Okay, so let me underline these two words, they are very important. What do I mean by this? The coefficient of x power n is an. The coefficient of x power n minus 1 is a n minus 1. Same way, the coefficient of x is a1. And of course, this a, it is going to be x power 0. It's going to be a constant term. So these are the things already you were aware of. Now, let me give you some examples for polynomials. Examples. P of x is equal to 4x plus 5. It is a polynomial in x, and you can say it is a polynomial because the degree of x is 1, which is a positive integer, and this 4 and 5 are all real numbers. So it is a polynomial. Is a polynomial in x. Okay, now you consider this. Q of y is equal to 2 by 3 y power 4 minus 5y cube plus 3y square minus 2. Again, it is a polynomial because if you see the power of y, you are having 4, 3, 2. So they are all positive integers, and this 2 by 3 minus 5, 3 minus 2 are real numbers. So it is a polynomial. Is a polynomial in y. That is very important. It is a polynomial in y. Okay. Now you consider three x square plus 2 root x minus 1. Is it a polynomial? See, you can write this polynomial as 3x square plus 2x to the power half minus 1. If you see the power of x, this 2 is a positive integer, whereas half is not a positive integer. Isn't it? Therefore, it is not a polynomial. Why I am explaining this particular part is you have got many 1 mark questions. So, you may come across questions of this type. So, this is very important point. This one is not a polynomial. Because the power of x is half here in this place, which is not a positive integer. Okay, I will give you one more example. Consider 5y cube minus 3y square plus 4 by y plus 1. Actually, this is some p of y or q of y or r of y, whichever way you want to take, you take. Is it a polynomial? If you see, I can write this as 5y cube minus 3y square plus 4y power minus 1 plus 1. The power of y, 3 is a positive integer, 2 is a positive integer, whereas minus 1 is not a positive integer, it is a negative integer. So, it is not a polynomial. This one is not a polynomial. So, you should know how to write the reason out. Okay. The next one is degree of the polynomial. That's the second point, which you all already learnt it, but let me recall. The second point is degree of the polynomial. You know, if any polynomial is given to you, in any variable. Suppose you let us consider a polynomial in x. Then the highest power of x in the given polynomial is known as its degree. So let me write it for you. The highest power of x in the or in a given polynomial f of x is known as its degree. Okay, now let us decide the degrees for the following polynomials. A, f of x is equal to 3x. B, g of y is equal to 3y square plus 2y plus 3. R of t is equal to 5t cube minus 4t square plus 2 by 3t plus 1. I think these 4 examples is enough to decide the degree. That will make you recall what you learnt in your previous session. Then let me take p of x is equal to minus 3x power 4 plus 5x cube minus 2 by 3x square minus 2. If you see the first one, the power of x here is 1. Therefore, the degree of this polynomial is 1. Okay. Coming to the second one. The highest power here is 2, power of y, because here the power is 1. Therefore, the highest power in this polynomial is 2. Therefore, degree is 2. Coming to the third one. Here the degree power is 3. Here the power is 2. And in this place the power is 1. Therefore, the highest power of t in this polynomial is 3. Therefore, the degree is 3. Same case here. The fourth one, if you see the highest power of x is 4. Because here the power is 3 and in this place the power of x is 2. Therefore, the degree is 4. So, this is how you will find out. Though I have written it in the ascending order, in whichever way they give, your job is to find out the highest power of the variable given in that polynomial, which will give you the degree of that polynomial. Okay. This is the second concept. The third one. Based on the degree, we can name the polynomials as linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial and biquadratic polynomial. Okay. So, types of polynomial, the third one, types. See here, consider the first example. P of x is equal to 5x plus 3. If you look at it, the degree of this polynomial is 1 because you know the power of x is 1. So therefore the degree is 1. Let me write that point first. The degree is 1. When the degree of the polynomial is 1, that polynomial is known as a linear polynomial. So this polynomial is known as linear polynomial. I will put it like this. That is a polynomial of degree 1 is called a linear polynomial. Okay. See, a linear polynomial can be a binomial or a monomial. I can write p of x as just 3x. Here also the degree is 1. So it is a linear polynomial. Now you consider this. I can write q of x as 5x minus 7 by 3. Again, the degree of x is 1. Therefore, it is a linear polynomial. So, what do you infer? Here you have got only one term. So, it is a monomial in this place. Here you are having two terms, 5x as well as minus 7 by 3, which is a binomial. Linear polynomial, a linear polynomial can be a monomial or a binomial. It's a very important point. Okay, let me underline this. A linear polynomial can be a monomial or a binomial. Very important point. In general, any linear polynomial in variable x with real coefficients, that is very important point, with real coefficients will be of the form f of x is equal to ax plus b, where already you are aware of it, a and b are real numbers and this is a very important condition, a should not be equal to 0. See, why this a should not be equal to 0? Very important condition. If a becomes 0, then a into x, that will become 0. Then it will not be a linear polynomial because you will have only one constant term. So this condition is very important. So normally, in general, we write any linear polynomial as f of x is equal to ax plus b. Okay. The first one, linear polynomial. Okay, under this, the second one, B, quadratic polynomial. Quadratic polynomial. Now just consider Q of x is equal to minus 3x square plus 2 by 3x minus 5. If you see, the highest power of x is 2. So in this place, the degree is 2. The degree is 2. So in a polynomial, if the degree of that polynomial is going to be 2, then that polynomial is called a quadratic polynomial. A quadratic polynomial. That is a polynomial of degree 2 is called a quadratic polynomial. Okay, now you consider these examples. The first one, Q of x is equal to x square minus 5x plus 6. P of x is equal to 3x square minus 2. Then again you can take f of x is equal to just minus 2 by 3 x square. If you see, it is a quadratic polynomial because the highest power of the variable x here is 2. So the degree is 2. So it is a quadratic polynomial. Here also the highest power of x is 2. So the degree is 2. That means this is also a quadratic polynomial. Same way, if you see here, the power of x is 2. So again, it is a quadratic polynomial. What do you infer from here? A quadratic polynomial can be a monomial because only one term is here, or it could be a binomial, or it could be a trinomial. So this is what you infer from these examples. So let me write that in statement form for your ready reference. Okay. A quadratic polynomial can be a monomial or binomial or here three terms are there, the first example, so trinomial. Okay. The second important point. In general, how to write any quadratic polynomial? See here. In general, any quadratic polynomial in variable x with real coefficients will be of the form f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. The conditions you have to write, that goes without saying, where a, b and c are real numbers, and then the important condition, a should not be equal to 0. This condition is very, very important, because if a is 0, then 0 into x square will be 0. Then it will not be a quadratic polynomial. It will be reduced to a linear polynomial. So you will be getting f of x equal to bx plus c. Anyway, let me underline here also, so that a quadratic polynomial can be a monomial, binomial or trinomial. Okay. Yes. This is how we will write any quadratic polynomial in general form. The next one is, when will you say the given polynomial is a cubic polynomial? That is C. Cubic polynomial. Okay. Just consider these examples. P of x is equal to minus 5 x cube plus 4 x square minus 2 by 3x minus 1. If you see this polynomial, the highest power of x is 3. So here the degree is 3. When the degree is 3, then that polynomial is called a cubic polynomial. So this polynomial is called a cubic polynomial. I will write it for you in statement form. That is, a polynomial of degree 3 is called a cubic polynomial. Okay, what are the things we can infer from this cubic polynomial? The first point, just you consider P of x is equal to minus 2x cube plus 5x square minus 3x plus 2. Then q of x is equal to 5x cube minus 3x square plus 2 by 3. Then r of x is equal to minus 2 by 3 x cube minus 2. Then P of x is equal to minus 7 x cube. If you see here the first one, the highest power of x is 3, therefore it is a cubic polynomial. In second case also, the highest power of x is 3, again it is a cubic polynomial. The third one also, the highest power of x is 3, hence cubic polynomial. The last one, though only one term is there, the highest power is 3, therefore cubic polynomial. So what do you observe from here? A cubic polynomial can be a monomial, or it could be a binomial because two terms are there, or it could be a trinomial. Here you are having 4 terms, therefore this polynomial is called a quadrinomial. So let me write it in statement form. A cubic polynomial can be monomial, or a binomial, or a trinomial, or a quadrinomial. So your aim is to just see the highest power in the given polynomial. So let us not bother about the number of terms in the given polynomial. Okay. The next important point is how to write in general a cubic polynomial. So in general, next important point, or this is what you infer, the in general any cubic polynomial in X with real coefficients will be of the form f of x is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where the conditions are very important. A, B, C and D are real numbers. Important condition, A should not be equal to 0. Because if A is 0, then this ax cube will become 0, then this will not be a cubic polynomial, it will be reduced to a quadratic polynomial. So this condition is very, very important. Okay. Then the next type, D, biquadratic polynomial. Consider q of y is equal to 4y power 4 minus 3y square plus 1. If you see this polynomial, the highest power over here is, the power of y is 4. So I can write it here for you. degree is 4. Polynomial with degree 4 is known as a biquadratic polynomial. So this is biquadratic polynomial. Okay. So let me write it in statement form. That is, a polynomial of degree 4 is called a biquadratic polynomial, called a biquadratic polynomial. Here I am going to restrict myself to how to write the general form of a biquadratic polynomial. In general, any biquadratic polynomial in x with real coefficients will be of the form f of x is equal to a x power 4 plus b x cube plus c x square plus dx plus e, where a, b, c, d and e are real numbers. Then the important condition, a should not be equal to 0. Because if a is 0, then ax power 4 will be 0. Then this polynomial will be reduced to a cubic polynomial. So this condition is very, very important. Okay. Then the next one, the next E. Constant polynomial. Consider f of x is equal to 3. Here the degree of x is going to be 0 because I can write this polynomial as, this can be written as f of x is equal to 3 into x power 0, because anything to the power 0 is going to be 1. So 3 into 1 is going to be 3. In this case, the degree is 0. So a polynomial of degree 0 is called a constant polynomial. Okay, that is, let me write it over here for you. Here the degree is 0. So this polynomial is called a constant polynomial. I can give you one more example for you to comprehend better. Just consider p of y is equal to minus 2 by 5. Again, I can write this as p of y is equal to minus 2 by 5. Because this polynomial is in y, I can write y power 0. That means the degree is 0. The degree is 0. Therefore, it is a constant polynomial. Okay, let me write it in statement form. A polynomial, that is a polynomial of degree 0 is called a constant polynomial. Okay. Now the last one, F. 0 polynomial. Just consider f of x is equal to 0. Okay. I can write this as f of x is equal to 0 into x power 0. Or I can write it as f of x is equal to 0 into x. Or I can write it as f of x is equal to 0 into x power 5. Or I can write it as f of x is equal to 0 into x power 15. In whichever way I write, I am going to get f of x is equal to 0. So, the constant polynomial 0 or f of x equal to 0 is called a 0 polynomial. Because if you see in this example, here all are equal to 0. Are all equal to 0 polynomial. Isn't it? So, the constant polynomial 0 or f of x equal to 0 is called a 0 polynomial. See, that is, I will write it in statement form. The constant polynomial see, the constant polynomial will be of the form f of x is equal to some real number. If that number is going to be 0, then it will be a 0 polynomial. So, the constant polynomial 0 or f of x equal to 0 is called a 0 polynomial. Now, here the very important point is the degree of the 0 polynomial cannot be determined, cannot be defined, because see, here you are getting the degree as 0. In this place the degree is 1. Here the degree is 5. In this it is 15. So you can't define, in all the cases the value is 0. So it's a very important point, the degree of the 0 polynomial is not defined. So you cannot define the degree of the zero polynomial. So this point should be kept in mind. Fourth point, value of a polynomial. Value of the polynomial. You just consider this example. Let the given polynomial be f of x is equal to 3x square minus 2x plus 1. Find the value of this polynomial at x is equal to 2. So what should you do? You have to replace x by 2. What will you be getting? This is reduced to f of 2 is equal to, wherever x is there, you replace it by 2. You will get 3 into 2 square minus 2 into 2 plus 1. This is 3 into 4 minus 4 plus 1. That is 12 minus 4 plus 1, which is equal to 9. That means the value of, therefore, the value of f of x at x equal to 2 is 9. This is how you will find out the value of the polynomial. In general, how to write the statement for the value of the polynomial. See here, if f of x is a polynomial and k is any real number, then the real number obtained by replacing x by k in f of x. See, what did we do here? We replaced x by 2. So, your k in this particular example is nothing but 2. That is what I am writing it in statement form. X by k in f of x is called the value of the polynomial f of x. X is equal to k. This is very important. You have to write at x is equal to what value, that has to be mentioned by you, and is denoted by f of k. Okay. The next important concept what you should know is, that is the fifth point, zero of a polynomial. Zero of a polynomial. Zero of a polynomial. It is nothing but a real number. It's very easy concept. Already you know zero polynomial. So, a real number k is a zero of a polynomial if and only if f of k should be equal to 0. Or in other words, to find out 0 of a polynomial, f of x, we have to solve the polynomial equation f of x equal to 0. That's all. Now, let me give you one example. Consider find the zeros of the polynomial p of x is equal to 2x square minus 8x plus 6. Very simple example I have taken for you. First you have to factorize this quadratic polynomial. Already you learnt in your previous classes how to split the middle term and then factorize. So I can write 2x square minus 8x plus 6 as 2x squared. This minus 8x can be written as minus 6x minus 2x. So when I add these two terms, I will be getting minus 8x. Then when I multiply, plus 6 is there, let me write that also. When I multiply these two middle terms, I should get the product of first and the last term. So this is the basic concept. You all must be aware of it. Okay. Now, this is equal to combining these two terms. I can take out 2x. So inside I will have x minus 3. From these two terms, that is minus 2x and 6, I can take out minus 2. Inside I will be having x minus 3. Now what is common? X minus 3 is common. Take it out. Then I will be left with into 2x minus 2. Now, this should be 2x square minus 8x plus 6 should be equal to 0. That means you have to equate your x minus 3 into 2x minus 2 to 0. So, that means f of x should be equal to 0. This implies x minus 3 into 2x minus 2 should be equal to 0. This implies x minus 3 equal to 0 or 2x minus 2 should be equal to 0, or in other words, x should be equal to 3, or here you will be getting x is equal to 1. Therefore, the zeros of the given polynomial, what is it actually? 2x squared minus 8x plus 6 or 3 and 1. So, this is how you will be concluding your answer. Already we have learnt about biquadratic polynomial. I told you if the degree of the polynomial is going to be 4, then we call that polynomial a biquadratic polynomial. So this is what we discussed earlier. if you see the power, you are having 4, then 2, here it is going to be y power 0. So, you are having the power as 0, 2, 4, all even numbers. In such case, we call this polynomial as a biquadratic polynomial. Okay, I would like to give you one more input over here. Suppose if the polynomial is going to be of this particular type, consider if it is going to be like this, p of x is equal to 3x power 4 minus 2x cube plus 4 by 5 x squared, then minus, I can write x plus 5. If you consider this polynomial, here also you are having the highest power as 4. Then you are having x cube, that is power 3 is there, 2 is there, here it is 1, and in this place it is going to be x power 0. We can call this particular polynomial as quartic polynomial. If you see the power of this particular polynomial, you are having 4, and again you are having 3, 2, 1, 0. So, all the powers are not even. Whereas in this case, the first example what I gave you, the powers 4, 2, 0. Whereas here it is 4, 3. The second example what I given you, it is 4, 3, 2, 1, and here it is going to be 0. So, here you can call this polynomial of degree 4 as quartic polynomial. I will write over here quartic polynomial. This is only additional information. Polynomial. Okay. So, if the degree of the polynomial is going to be 4, you can see the powers of other terms. If you are going to have even powers, you can call that as biquadratic. If you are going to have 4, 3, 2, 1 like that, then you can call it as a quartic polynomial. So, let me make a note over here also, slash quartic polynomial. Okay. If you take this example, I can write over here a polynomial of degree 4 is called a quartic polynomial. It's only the additional input what I wanted to give you. Okay. Now, sixth point, relationship between the zeros and coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. This concept is very, very important as far as your board examination is concerned. Okay. Let us do this now. Let alpha and beta be the zeros of the quadratic polynomial f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b and c are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. I told you many times it's a very, very important condition. Okay. You already learnt in your previous class about factor theorem. So, by factor theorem, x minus alpha and x minus beta are the factors of f of x. Then I can write f of x as k into x minus alpha into x minus beta, where k is a constant. So I can write f of x is nothing but ax square, that is what is given to you, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to k into x minus alpha into x minus beta. Now, let me multiply this term by term. I will be getting x square minus beta x minus alpha x plus alpha beta, which is equal to k into, if I combine these two terms, I will be getting x square minus, of course x can be taken out as common factor, I will be getting alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. Now, comparing, actually this is ax square plus bx plus c. Now, comparing the coefficients of, that's why I said in the beginning itself, the word coefficient is very important. You will be making use of it very often in this particular exercise. X square, x and constant term on both sides, we get, now compare now, coefficient of x square is a, here it is going to be k. So, a is equal to k. Then, coefficient of x will be, here left hand side it is b, right hand side it is minus k into alpha plus beta. Right hand side it is minus k into alpha plus beta. Constant term in left hand side is c, whereas on the right hand side it is k alpha beta. Okay. From this one, b is equal to minus k into alpha plus beta, we get, from here we get alpha plus beta is equal to b by minus k. So I can write over here minus and just write k over here. But what is k? K is nothing but a. So this is nothing but minus b by a. What is b? If you see the given equation, b is the coefficient of x. B is nothing but, see here, b is the coefficient of x. So I can write here minus coefficient of x by a. A is nothing but, see here, coefficient of x squared. So I can write here coefficient of x square. Okay. See, C is equal to K alpha beta. From there what do we get? C is equal to K alpha beta implies alpha beta is equal to C by K. You know K is nothing but A. So I can write this as C by A. What is C? C is the constant term. So constant term by coefficient of x square. Now we got the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of the given polynomial. See, alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial. So what relationship we got now? Alpha plus beta is equal to, from this place, minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Then from here what we got? Alpha beta. Alpha beta is equal to constant term by coefficient of x square. Or in other words, I can write this as sum of the zeros is equal to minus b by a, which is equal to minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Product alpha beta is nothing but product of the zeros. So product of the zeros is equal to C by A, that is constant term by coefficient of x square. So this is the relationship between, very important relationship, between the zeros and the coefficients of the given quadratic polynomial. Note, it's very important note. We will be working out questions based on this. If alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial, f of x, then the polynomial f of x is given by f of x is equal to k into x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta, where you know that already k is you can even write any non-zero real number, or k is a constant. This in turn can be written as k into x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros. So questions may be asked based on this particular concept. The seventh one, relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of a cubic polynomial. Result, let alpha, beta and gamma be the zeros of the cubic polynomial f of x is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a, b, c and d are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. You know that by factor theorem, x minus alpha, x minus beta, x minus gamma are the factors of f of x. So now I can write f of x is equal to k into x minus alpha into x minus beta into x minus gamma, where I can write k is a constant, or even I can write any non-zero real number. I can even write, or inside the bracket I will mention it for you. K is any non-zero real number. Okay, like the previous one, you have to multiply x minus alpha into x minus beta and x minus gamma, and then you have to compare the like coefficients namely x cube, x square, x and constant term on both sides, you will be getting. Okay, before that, let me write this step also for you. F of x is nothing but ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is equal to k into x minus alpha into x minus beta into x minus gamma. So, comparing the coefficients of x cube, x square, x and constant term on both sides, we get alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus b by a, which is nothing but minus, see here, b is nothing but coefficient of x square. So, coefficient of x square by a. A is nothing but coefficient of x cube. So, by coefficient of x cube. Then, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha will be c by a. C is coefficient of x. So, coefficient of x by a is nothing but coefficient of x cube. Coefficient of x cube. Then alpha beta gamma will be minus d by a. D is nothing but the constant term. So, minus constant term by coefficient of x cube. X cube. Then sum of the product of the zeros, sum of the product of the zeros taken two at a time, taken two at a time is equal to, that we got it as c by a, equal to c by a, which is nothing but coefficient of see, that is what we got, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, c by a, that is coefficient of x by coefficient of x cube. Product of the zeros is equal to minus d by a minus constant term by coefficient of x cube. See, the sum of the zeros nothing but alpha plus beta plus gamma. Then sum of the product of the zeros taken two at a time is nothing but alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. Product of the zeros is nothing but alpha, beta, gamma. So, this is the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of the given cubic polynomial. This result is also equally important as far as the board examination is concerned. Again, note, very important note again. If alpha, beta and gamma are the zeros of the cubic polynomial, then the cubic polynomial f of x is given by f of x is equal to k into x cube minus alpha plus beta plus gamma into x square plus alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha into x minus alpha beta gamma. Here the sign will be alternatively plus and minus, where k is any non-zero real number. Very, very important point. With that, we have come to the end of today's session. We have discussed about what is a polynomial, how to find out the degree of the polynomial, then based on the degree of the polynomial, how to classify the given polynomial, a linear polynomial or quadratic polynomial or cubic polynomial or biquadratic or quartic polynomial, constant polynomial or zero polynomial. And also we discussed about the value of the polynomial and how to find out the zeros of the polynomial. Then we discussed about the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of the given quadratic polynomial. And if the zeros of the quadratic polynomials are given, how to write the quadratic polynomial. And then we discussed about the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of the given cubic polynomial. And also, if the zeros of a cubic polynomial are given, how to write that cubic polynomial. So, today's session is rather a sort of recalling what you learnt in your previous session, coupled with what you should know to solve the questions based on your 10th standard curriculum. I hope you all have understood all these concepts. I will be working out the questions from the NCERT book. Also, similar types of questions from previous year's question papers to make you feel comfortable or to make you understand as well as make you comprehend the concepts in a better manner. Thank you very much. I will see you again in my next class.